Everybody. When I was asked to come and speak, I thought I was going to be speaking on entrepreneurial credit to students. And I look at the audience and I realize you're not all students, but hopefully it's equally applicable to your children or to your grandchildren. And I want to remind you, Ray Kroc set up McDonald's age 65. So there's hope here if you're interested in some entrepreneurial career. It's great to be back after 31 years. I came to the hall and I met my wife on the first night here, and I proposed to her on the first night within 10 minutes of meeting her. She's sitting in the back room there. And we married 5 hard years later. We married at Christchurch, we had our reception down in the dining room, so I feel at home. And in those times, entrepreneurship and management were in the infancy in Oxford. I had come via South Africa, you've got another South African speaking this afternoon, and I'd come via America. And I'd come here to read management and didn't realize until the first high table dinner how management just wasn't accepted. We really were looked down at. And it was quite a difficult time. I did my DPhil. I was the 10th person at Oxford to do a DPhil in management, and the university rejected my first title. I was looking at the hype surrounding the introduction of new technology, and the greater Oxford dons told me there was no such word as hype, and we had to fight that, and I got that through. But I had a wonderful supervisor, and he was a social anthropologist, and looked at business not as the MBAs now do through finance marketing, he's looked at it through culture and so on. So it's been a fantastic ground for what I went on to do. Now, I passionately believe about entrepreneurship, so I thought before I speak to you, I'm going to look on the Edmund Hall website and look and see what august sort of distinguished entrepreneurs have come through the hall. And I looked through this huge list, and there are only 2 entrepreneurs and businessmen as distinguished Teddy Hall alumni. So we're really got to do something about this. It's full of journalists, full of lawyers, full of academics, full of politicians. And really we have to wake up and understand who's creating the wealth, who's creating the jobs, and who's creating the economy. And I really think this is a problem. So I thought, no problem. Teddy Hall is behind the times. Let me look at the university website about distinguished entrepreneurs. Sure, I found lots there. And I looked through. I mean, literally a couple of centuries, there are only 2 entrepreneurs named in the Oxford Distinguished Entrepreneurs. And I'm afraid they're not very good role models. One is Rupert Murdoch, and the other one is Cecil John Rhodes. So 2 not very good for role models. So this is a real problem. I'm pleased to say that looking down at Tim Berners-Lee with the World Wide Web, fantastic example of a social entrepreneur. And there's only one woman entrepreneur, one woman businesswoman in the whole of the distinguished Oxford alumni, and that's Martha Lane Fox with lastminute.com. But being Oxford, I'm sure that website is out of date, because it's very appropriate that I'm talking today, because yesterday, I believe there are 2 Oxford entrepreneurs that should be on the distinguished, as of yesterday, should be on the distinguished alumni. And that's Jan Heruska and Peter Lemmer. Started here with a doctorate about the same time as I did, and we're looking at cyber security. And they set up, when they were DPhil students, they set up a company called Sophos. That company floated on the London Stock Exchange yesterday, the biggest tech float in London history, £1 billion. And they've made probably 300 or 400 million out of it. And really great entrepreneurs from Oxford. So let's hope we get more of those. So back to my career as an entrepreneur. I guess after doing my DPhil here, I bought a small company and turned around and sold and made a bit of money. And then I wanted to it was the time of the Atlanta Olympics. And I was watching all these, my wife will remind me, actually I'd been fined by my partner, and he had locked the doors on our company, so I had lots of time. I was watching the Atlanta Olympics late at night. I think what we really need to do in the UK is create an Olympic Games for entrepreneurs. So I came up with this idea called Fast Track. And we publish league tables in the Sunday Times ranking the fastest running entrepreneurs, fastest growing sales, fastest growing profits, fastest growing exports, and all that. So championing on entrepreneurs. And before I set it up, I needed to do 2 things. I needed to understand, as a South African, whether the British understood what entrepreneurs were and who they were, and I needed to get some funding. So I went and stood on up in the corn market and asked people to name entrepreneurs. the wealth creators, the job creators, the taxpayers. And this was 19 years ago. They could only name 2 entrepreneurs, Richard Branson and Anita Roddick. This was 19 years ago. And as I remind Richard, to this day I chose the better looking. I went for Richard and persuaded Richard Branson to back me, and Richard's been a great supporter of Fast Track for the last 19 years. I was just with him yesterday working on some social enterprise stuff in South Africa. So I had the idea, and then I needed to get the backing, and I literally stalked Richard, and I thought the way to get money out of him was I spent a lot of time with Templeton College, which was my faculty whilst I was at Teddy Hall. I did my DPhil in Management Studies, and persuaded them to create a fellowship in entrepreneurship, persuaded Richard to back it, and persuaded the university to appoint me, because I thought this was where they were Richard involved. And this, imagine dealing with the university, this took a year to do, particularly the fact I was creating the fellowship and putting myself forward. But anyway, we won it, and sort of the week after I got this whole thing established, a year of work before, Richard said, you know what, Hamish, I backed you despite the fact that you had Oxford and an education. He, like a lot of entrepreneurs, had a huge prejudice against entrepreneurship. And the fact that I'd done my DPhil and got the university involved, Richard didn't, it sort of counted against me. But that was 19 years ago. And if you look, hopefully today, if I went and, should have done this morning, actually, it was a good story. If I had gone and found out, could people name more entrepreneurs? So hopefully you in the room could. We've got sort of, James Dyson, we've got Stelios of EasyJet now, FTSE 100 company. We've got a Charles Dunstan from Carphone, so a lot more entrepreneurs. And if we're going to encourage more entrepreneurs, my experience is the best thing and most helpful thing, probably even more than education, is to have role models and have these entrepreneurs. So I'm delighted, looking back and making a living about tracking top performing entrepreneurs in the UK, there are lots more. But still not enough from universities, I don't think. If you look at the Oxford alumni, my chairman is Luke Johnson, probably not a household name, but Luke was behind Pizza Express. He owns Patisserie Valerie just across the road. If you go on Nielsen Holidays, he owns that. If you wear Zog's goggles, he owns that. So Luke's an Oxford graduate, actually went to Morden to read medicine, pulled out of medicine and became an entrepreneur. For mums and parents, mostly with children, someone like Johnny Bowden Clothing, another entrepreneur. But we really need to get more out of Oxford and get Oxford hopefully to promote those that are successful. If those in London today, there's a Formula E, electric Formula 1 around London. One of the key people behind that is Elspeth Bellhouse, who is into an infill with me here behind electric motors. And I look forward one day looking at distinguished alumni and seeing those sort of people on the website as well. But back to Fast Track. 2 minutes left, and we'll take some questions. It's just been a great opportunity for me to meet and monitor top performing companies coming through. I guess our biggest success story has been Arm Holdings, a small company, unfortunately not in Oxford but in Cambridge. When we started monitoring it 19 years ago, it was just a small company employing less than 100 people, sales of 16 million, and today it's worth 16 billion. Employs over 3,000 people worldwide, and this is high class employment, not zero contract hours. These are scientists and designing mobile phone chips. So Oxford's had its successes with Sophos on Friday, and I hope we'll catch up with Cambridge. Just in finishing, the key stats and why I believe so passionately in entrepreneurship is this. If you look at the economy here in the UK, 50% of jobs are created by private companies, by entrepreneurs. 50% of companies of jobs in the whole of the UK. But the real interesting statistic is the fastest growing 6% of those companies create over 50% of jobs. So it's really the fastest growing companies that entrepreneurs are founding and driving that are really creating a disproportionate amount of jobs, wealth, and taxes in the UK. I think we need to look after them more and nurture them more. That's my sort of passion. Although disappointing, I look, just in preparing the speech, I've had over 26 Oxford sort of graduates working with me on some internships over the years. And not a single one has gone on to found a company. I mean, maybe I'll put them off, but otherwise they're all taking jobs at Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, and clearly done extremely well, some of them, and none of them have founded their own companies. So my plea is, as students, as parents, and as grandparents, encourage those to go out and become an entrepreneur. I've found it incredibly rewarding. Financially, it's been rewarding. Personally, it's been rewarding. It gives you huge autonomy. Being able to have 4 children, I've felt I've really grown up with my children, although sort of obsessively work. As an entrepreneur, you can work on holiday, you can work at home, you can work all over the place, but it's given me huge autonomy. It's enabled me to give something back. With the Branston Foundation, we set up a school for entrepreneurship in South Africa, and I continually raise money and send entrepreneurs out there to motivate people, so you can put a lot back. I mean, clearly it's not for everybody, but I think we just got to get beyond the dull boy. And in my case, probably the reason I became an entrepreneur is I was unemployable. And I hope that today people will choose to become an entrepreneur. I mean, the risks are, you work hard, the stress and the risk, but I think the rewards are great. So if I can give you one message, go away, and for those who think about careers, think of entrepreneurship as a credible, legitimate and fun one. So thank you very much.